Today, this is James Brown, assignment number 1 for course PDIP 3260, Professional Practice. The assignment is Career Management. I'm with Vancouver Community College and instructor Christopher Carroll. To begin the assignment, we're asked first question, one of the guiding questions, of what our vision is, where we see ourselves in 3 to 5 years. For me, where I would like to be, I've been doing a lot of training and teaching in trades. I started with culinary trades. I've worked in law enforcement, so I want to start doing some more security basic training and stuff like that. But I want to create a program based with the population of people that I deliver my courses with, where it's community-based environment and where we deliver work readiness, trade skills, and also developing all those essential life skills that are needed for people to be successful upon completion of some training and education. In Brooks Field's text there, the skillful teacher, he discusses, or he makes a statement where the skillful teaching is whatever helps students learn, and I really believe in that concept. Trying to meet the needs of the student is just as important as trying to deliver the content to the student. Making sure that we have a well-balanced, structured curriculum that involves other aspects of health and wellness, hard work and learning, to work on that, to develop those work ethics and skills. And I want to have my program that is community-based, so people are working together to reach a common goal, and to be able to help each other through the learning process, but also create more of a grander endpoint where they have these connections. And like in the Brookfield's text, he refers to using in one of his courses where he has alumni come in and have discussions with the class. And to me, that is a great opportunity for when you have the new students coming in, seeing that end result and how these people are still connected to the programs you're teaching, and it gets them really engaged right away. There's your hook, So the next of the guiding questions that I want to kind of talk about is when it asks us, what do we stand for as a teacher? How I feel like my role as a facilitator and educator in these programs is, what am I supposed to present myself as? And these are kind of some of the things that I believe I stand for as a teacher. Is number one is honesty and transparency. I really believe in role modeling and pro-social modeling and these things. And so if I'm honest and transparent about everything we're going to do, the challenges, what things I think they're going to succeed at, what things I think they're going to need more work at, then I develop more of a leadership role, I put in an assertiveness as a teacher. We do need to be able to rein in students and help direct them at times. And I want to be relatable to them, right? And show them I'm open and available to talk. Patience. I always put entertaining it. I find as a teacher, somebody presenting stuff, you have to do it in a way that really engages the mind and makes it fun. And when you're a fun learner, you're going to be a more engaged learner. You're going to be more active learning, because you see Brookfield also refers to that. If I'm not working, if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, right? And he loves teaching, and just like I do. And so if I can put that onto my students to love learning the way I love teaching, that's that whole modeling process there. So that's what kind of as I stand for, but what I really believe is true to be able to achieve these goals is to actually actively do pro-social modeling and active listening. That's the one big thing I always found difficult when I first started being a facilitator and teacher, is to stop talking sometimes and actually listen for the responses and use different techniques. Engagement techniques are hugely important, like icebreakers and utilizing other group activities and stuff. And again, be entertaining, be funny. Making people laugh makes them at ease, right? And find the hooks to catch each fish. I really believe that, like, if you take the time to listen and find a little bit of information about each person, have an activity where they write certain things down, the two truths and a lie, or some things like that, and then you can develop what the hook is that really reel them in, right? And ask real authentic questions with your students, whether you're doing like the knowledge assessment thing to find out more information, or you're trying to find out more about them and their learning styles. Give them a question where they have an opportunity to respond, and that actually meets, something that sparks a response that you want to hear and that they want to share, right? Because for us to be successful in delivering the content and for me, this whole holistic concept, I really need to reach the students. And I really believe that if we reach them, then we're able to teach them, and we can, get them engaged to learn much more than they can ever realize they can achieve. I mean, I do work with a lot of disadvantaged youth, and I come from an industry where a lot of people have given up on a lot of abilities and opportunities to learn things. So I really, truly believe if we follow these kind of different beliefs in our teaching and we actually apply it, we will reach them, and we'll show them how successful they can be, and they'll show us how successful they are. So I have 3 goals to make my vision a reality that I think I will be able to obtain this type of community-based learning atmosphere. Oh, sorry about that. The first goal is I want to encourage and empower students to take an active role in their learning through open communication. I feel like learning to communicate and not cutting yourselves off and stuff like that. And this is where I really, I'm looking to that community concept of working together and helping each other in the program. When I was going through some of my research, helping students develop essential skills from Levine, he talks about how all the different peers and other people that we interact with daily are part of our learning environment. And so when we encourage other people to communicate within the group and create the same type of connections, this will help foster a classroom environment where everybody feels comfortable sharing ideas, asking questions without fear and judgment. Another objective to reach this goal is providing opportunities for students to lead their discussions, for people to collaborate on the projects, make decisions about their own learning, and develop students' self-advocacy skills, like enabling them to articulate their needs and preferences regarding the learning process, and so that I can understand a little stronger about how I might have to change my approaches in my assessments or in the way that I'm trying to prepare them for the next lesson. My next goal is to actually have a learning environment that is also a workplace, which will allow students to apply the new skills, that will build confidence, team building and leadership skills, and knowledge in a practical setting, actually seeing what they're learning, putting on. So with the training that I do, I actually want to have a connection to some type of work program. So if it's culinary, we're going to do lunches and catering and maybe meals to the elders, and depending which group I'm working with. If we're doing more trade skills and stuff, we might do some brush saw clearing, things like that. Hands-on experience helps solidify their understanding, makes the learning process more meaningful. Right from Brookfield, he was talking about that too, and with resistant learners and people that have trouble, doing more things hands-on really helps to encourage them, that they see the accomplishment of what they've learned and applying it. And this also helps them, one of the other objectives will be them taking on those responsibilities, leading and delegating different areas, work duties that we'll be doing, completion of projects together, being the lead on those. Like having a practical application could be something like creating an entire meal, where they have to do everything. They got to troubleshoot any issues like time management and all these things, adapting a recipe for other dietary issues. Like all these things will be encompassing of the whole training process. So the third goal that I want to use for that I think is to help them develop those essential life skills, and that'll help them transition better to becoming from a successful student to actually someone that's employable, ready to enter the workforce. And the objectives, I will teach and model professionalism, strong work ethics, focus on oral, written communication, teamwork, collaboration skills. We'll explore critical thinking and problem solving, and also with the assistance of community partners that we're going to be bridging with. They're going to have opportunities for work trials and demonstrate their new abilities and skills outside of our program and be able to see how they do in a more professional setting. And it's like getting all these important life skills involved, like time management, using things like self-motivation, adaptability, decision-making, aligning their goals, and it'll help with their personal development and growth. Some of the obstacles that we might have in achieving these goals, we're going to have a lot of different students from different areas and different learning styles, and being able to meet everybody's ability to learn within the group. But that's why they're more community-based thing. They help each other out, and some people will help with their strengths and weaknesses with each other, right? Sometimes difficulty in creating a collaborative or inclusive environment. When we go through back into the text of Brookfield, and he talks about the racism and different types of cultures and stuff. So managing those diverse personalities, I'm worried about potential conflicts, but also ensuring that equal contribution, engagement from all participants. When you do group and community type learning, some people have a tendency to overwork, some have a tendency to underwork. So that's a balance that you have to really kind of involve and make sure you try and tighten those things up. There's external factors like time limits for assignments and how much time we have during the day just to get things done. Lots of content we want to get in, especially when we're also focusing on life skills and other things. And the costs are always going to be a huge issue, right? And that's why we need community partnership and stuff like that to help kind of alleviate some of those costs so we can actually get all the training and the stuff that we want to do in the format of a work environment, right? Which could be somewhat self-sustaining if the other factor of the work part starts to generate some income. But also locating like the space to do the training. A lot of colleges I work in has it, but sometimes the time to get in there and that. So there's logistics and stuff for the intended program. And just the difficulty of the skills themselves can pose a significant challenge in some of the students, but making sure that we're staying and understanding their stress needs and anxieties and things like that, and just keeping that encouragement and engagement and trying to adopt to their learning styles, we should be able to overcome those issues. So how am I going to achieve all these things? Well, number one, consistency with the appropriately chosen educational and career development professionals, having the right people come in. I can't do this alone. Warren Buffett always says, like, to be successful, people around you have to be also successful. Having those community partnerships with potential employers and education institutions, especially for the students when they complete, to be able to transition into something that's more permanent. I do work with a lot of Indigenous, so having the inclusion of elders and local leaders within communities to help support the students. And those financial costs, we're going to apply for potential grant fundings, assistance for tuition costs. There's other things, other areas too, where we could probably get some assistance through the government. And within that time, I'm hoping to continue to introduce new programs and training from other previous experience of mine and other people I can collaborate with. I always want to work and develop it. Incorporating a trauma-informed practice for my time in corrections. I know a lot of people with trauma need different special attention, so incorporating that to our training is really important. And other aspects of my life and influences, networking, past and present employers, partners, experience. I spend a lot of time with Indigenous communities, understanding differences in cultural and learning approaches. So that's all going to help me keep applying the learning and teaching. And, all of my involvement in my work with different occupational health and safety organizations, wellness and engagement communities is going to give me a perspective to be able to help the students transition and understand their responsibilities and their protections when they're in the workforce. So that's my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and it wasn't too long, and have a great day.